Remember the old adage, stop and smell the flowers? Well, in order to stop and smell the flowers, to take them in, we have to see them, and see them long enough for the flowers to register in our mind so that we can hit the brakes, pause, stop. Stop our walking, stop our doing, and come into being in the present with the flowers. Then we can have an experience with them, commune with them. So the moves for stopping and smelling the flowers are stopping completely and smelling, breathing the fragrance, the olfactory beauty, the wonder of that. And of course, I'd like to encourage us to go one step further, especially with the moments of uplift in the heart. Not just to feel them, but to savor them, to get nuanced, granular about what it is you're taking in, the jewels of this flower's aliveness, and the feel of the wonder and awe of its unique attributes. So, if you happen to be smelling flowers, you could decide to really take them in and notice and breathe in their scent as if to remember the look, the smell, the feel, as if to extract nuance and association that is connected to the complexity of this pleasurable experience. That's how the researcher Fred Bryant defines savoring in one of the first research papers on the art of savoring. To extract every nuance. Savoring deepens our felt connection to an experience. Savoring moments that uplift the heart can be a great support to counterbalancing the stress of daily life. Making much of these experiences fortifies the heart with joy and ease that's necessary for us to balance sorrow and dis-ease. And it's a practice. It isn't just smelling the flowers and appreciating their scent. No. Savoring isn't about rushing. It doesn't rush. It pauses, lingers, marinates, marvels at and with, and appreciates as it is happening the good feelings, so as to leave an imprint, impression, and echo in the heart of its sweetness and poignancy, and such that that impression can be deliberately recalled again later from memory. Savoring is a deeper taste of an experience, which makes for a more impactful memory, one that reawakens the experience with vividness. Often the word savor is associated with food, and rightly so, good reason. But savoring is not really about the object itself, but rather about how we are relating to an object. A sunset, a moment with a grandchild, a flower. Savoring alters how we store memory because we tend to use more than one sense to take in the moment. So here's an example. In my 20s, I had my first piece of chocolate lava cake. I remember it well. The warmth, the thick, creamy pudding-like center, how the fork glided through the cake effortlessly and almost in slow motion. And the taste was so different from any other chocolate cake I had ever tasted in my entire life. The memory continues. I recall how the mind was noticing and tracking the details, noticing and feeling and lingering on certain details, while simultaneously delighting and receiving the moment. It was fall. I was in a fancy restaurant with my uncle and my spiritual brother. The three of us, I see us at the table. I see my uncle smiling with pleasure. I cannot quite hear the words, but instead I recall this wave of uplift as I again felt the impression of his joy as he witnessed my joy. That's mudita, joy for another's joy. And all of that is from a moment 30 years ago, one occasion 30 years ago. And truly, my taste buds begin to kind of sparkle when I think about that particular memory. Now, truly, I did not know that I was savoring that moment, but I was. I deeply appreciated and delighted in my good fortune, in the company, the gustatory delight, and the residue of the good feeling, that its echo reverberates through time. Savoring, in other words, leaves more of an impression on us in our bodies, in our hearts and minds. This is powerful medicine. This is a powerful skill that we can develop and make use of, not only to balance out the stresses of daily life, but to more fully live the moments of our life. Yes, there are certain moments that in life we are encouraged to try to savor, weddings and celebrations, once-in-a-lifetime events, lest we get swept up in the festivities and wonder where the day went, right? But I would suggest that any moment of uplift of the heart is worthy of savoring. Any moment. Why not make the most of what is there? Don't just smell the flowers. Don't just gulp the hot chocolate. Inhale the lava cake. Indulge the pleasure. Lean in a little bit more. No, come back. Come back into the present. Get eye level. Get eye level with it. And receive what is there. With appreciation, with joy. As if a kind presence was gazing with appreciation on your joy and recording it in the memory banks. To savor, we need to pause, stop, and land in the noticing of something, the flower, the dessert, the joyful moment, long enough to register its awareness, that it's worthy of being fully appreciated. And here is where it helps to practice with noticing and naming. Naming just clarifies what is being noticed. Oh, right, I see that flower. Now take a breath. Breathe in that scent. Bring attention squarely inside the body and keep breathing. Keep breathing and feeling the scent, the touch, the taste, the smell, the brightening of the heart. Ground, breathe, calm, settle, savor. Linger with the feelings. Linger to get the texture and the contours, the shape, the smell. Kiss the joy as it flies. Ground, breathe, calm, settle, savor. Does that sound familiar? Much like the instructions for soothing. Ground, breathe, calm, settle, soothe the upset. Oh my. Now we turn and we ground, breathe, calm, settle, savor the joys and the contentments, all the small ones that we find along the day. And we do this practice of grounding and breathing and receiving so that we can stay safe, so that the heart can feel like it can safely open and receive. We stay grounded. This is how the body, when we touch, the body touches the ground, this is how the body senses that it can relax and receive. When we breathe, we open up this wind instrument, and the whole of the organism can receive the good feeling. This is how the central nervous system calms down and settles. And this settling process then allows us to just open and receive the moment and really savor, fully take in these moments with gusto. That's how. So this is what I'd like for us to encourage today, is to begin to really use those little coordinates to perhaps navigate in a little bit more closely to an experience of joy or contentment, and drink that in fully so the memory banks can recollect it. Okay?